Hi everyone, and welcome to Trans Youth Channel. Today is Sunday and I will be your featured girl for today. The topic question here is, how did you come out and how did your parents react? So I want to separate this into three different parts. One is how I came out, one is my mom, and one is my dad. Um, so the way I came out, it was a 3-week process, and it started with my father walking in on me cross-dressed. I was kind of considering coming out at the time, but that acted as a catalyst. So I spent an additional 3 days after that event thinking about coming out, and my friends in another town had been pressuring me to cross-dress for a while. Like, the way that started is, since like ninth grade, like 4 years ago, I've always been teased about looking like a girl and I should cross-dress. And on the inside, that was a compliment, but on the outside, I had to be that manly man. So I ended up saying it was an insult when it really wasn't. So my friends finally convinced me to cross-dress, so I went to another town and did it. And best day of my life, to be honest, best day of my life, because it was at that point where I suddenly felt like I was me. Like, beforehand, I had always had trouble finding out the real me. Like, I couldn't really pinpoint that, like, who I was. Everything that I did as a guy um, was taken from all my other friends. I was the culmination of my other friends. Like, their mannerisms, the way they act, and everything like that. So, yeah. After that, I came back to Cheyenne and I came out to my close friends. And after my close friends, I posted it on Facebook. And I answered questions with general friends. And at that point, a lot of my family ended up knowing. So I also came out to my family about it. And by now it had been a week and a half, I think. And this is where it gets interesting. This is where it kind of pops into my mother's story. Um, I had come out to my family members, and my mom, little background on my family. My mom has had 5 husbands, divorced all of them, and that becomes important a little later on. Um, I have 3 brothers, and then an adopted one, essentially, and then a sister. And all in one week, like, all of us dropped something, except for one of my brothers. All of us dropped something on the family. Um, and it was all in one week, completely coincidental, and it almost gave my aunt a heart attack. And I came out about being transgender. My youngest brother came out about being gay. My sister came out about being bi. My oldest brother came out, well, didn't exactly come out, but he told the family that the army was stationing him in North Korea, which was a huge thing, and it added to the whole occurrence. But like, my mom, who has had 5 husbands and went through 5 divorces, came out about being bi, and she kind of one-upped me. Um, while I was coming out about being transgender, um, I went over to her house and I sat her down and I'm like, all right, Mom, I have something to tell you. Um, I'm a cross-dresser. I like wearing girls' clothes. And then I left a break and I looked at her reaction, and it wasn't of surprise or anything like that. It was just kind of shock and relief. And then I continued and, like, I'm transgender. I want to be a girl. I'm a transsexual. And she looked at me and it's like, well, that makes what I'm going to tell you a lot easier. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, tell me. And she said, I'm bi. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not exactly what went up to me, but the thing that went up to me was meeting her girlfriend about 3 seconds after that in her pajamas at 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that was a great experience. Her girlfriend just walked out of the room, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, alrighty then. So kind of went up to me there, but I like her girlfriend, and I like my mom and everything, and we very much so have a good relationship. Same with the rest of my family, who is okay with it. Well, my mom's side of the family. Talking about my father, when he walked in on me, when I hadn't come out yet, his exact reaction to it, me in female clothes, I wasn't wearing makeup or anything, I was just in clothes. He walked in and he laughed. He laughed, and I asked him if we had to talk about this, and he said he was okay with it in private, as long as I didn't tell anyone else, and as long as he didn't see it, and as long as I did it in private. And he phrased it, everyone has their sexual quirk. A sexual quirk. That's how he phrased it. So I wasn't out at that point. So I'm like, okay, well, he took that pretty well. So I took that as a go-ahead to go ahead and come out. And 3 weeks later, after I had told my friends, my family, on my mom's side and everything, my father was in the kitchen, and I was on the stairs right next to the kitchen, going down to my room, and he was cooking something. And I looked at him and I'm like, hey Dad, so you know the whole cross-dressing thing? And he didn't like talking about it, so he just kind of went like, yeah, what? And I'm like, I'm out about it now. Like, everyone knows, and I'm a transsexual. And then he looks at me, drops the spatula, turns the stove off, and then like his exact words were, I cannot handle that lifestyle. And then he goes on and he's just like, I need you to move out. I cannot handle it. If you had said you were gay, I'd be kicking you out right now. But I'm gonna give you a while to find a place to get situated and everything. And I need you out. I cannot handle your lifestyle. Just can't do it. Here I find really interesting because the way he says it, if I had come out about being gay, I'd have been kicked out immediately, not given a while. Which is interesting because universally in a society, being gay is more accepted than being trans. So to know that he would have kicked me out immediately if I was gay kind of confuses me, so that's a little interesting thing. But anyway, after he had told me that, he grabbed his coat and then went to the bar. And my dad drinks a lot, not like he's drunk or anything, but I personally think he has a problem. But in the 2 months following that I hadn't been able to get out of the house, interaction completely stopped. Like, I was waiting to get out of bed until he had left to work. Then I would cross-dress to school, get ready and everything, take my shower, shave, all that, go to school, and then I would wait to come home until he had gone to bed in order to make sure he didn't see me. And the few times he saw me, he would just go off on how inconsiderate I am that I'm doing this in front of his face. And I'm like, really? I am doing everything I can to keep it out of your eyesight, but you're gonna act like this. And after that, we don't talk anymore now that I'm out. And he has literally attacked my friends and said, stop being friends with him because of this. And he said him, and it hurt. But either way, like, he attacked my friends and tried to stop me from getting friends. And I don't find it okay. He's acting like a 7-year-old. He's like 68 years old and he's acting like a 7-year-old, and he's drinking more. So needless to say, my interaction with my father is non-existent, like, at all. But either way, that's how my family reacted. And I'm sorry for downing you toward the end of the video. I probably should put my mother for like last and hey, uppity thing. But either way, that's how my family reacted. And yeah, it's not exactly the best thing, and I feel kind of hurt with it, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, bye. See ya.